Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, world. Jay Chancellor here with a personal story of mine. Excuse me if I begin to cry throughout this conversation. It is definitely tough for me to talk about, and it's something that I necessarily don't want to talk about, but I know that it's definitely needed, not only for myself, but for others as well. 2019 has been a year thus far for me, personally, and a lot of it hasn't turned out well. I would like to say I expected most of it. Some would say that I didn't. I do want to say that I know that there are three sides to every story, and I'm not here to persuade anyone to understand or see my point of view or see my side of the story as being fact. What I can say is that this video is in regards to abuse and domestic violence, and something that I've gone through or had to deal with over the past couple of years, in a sense. Most of you may or may not know who my previous partner was, and there is no need to mention who it was. But from 2017 until recently, I've been in a abusive domestic violence relationship. It's something that I never would have thought that I would be a part of, and for me, I can definitely say that my choices and my decisions in regards to my placement in these situations have not only been for me but for others involved. So, um, from 2000, late 2017 to recently, I've been in an abusive relationship that turned into domestic violence. The first incident that occurred was definitely hard for me. If you've followed me or if you've known me, you know that I am not a violent person. However, I've never been the one to back down from any situation. And that definitely doesn't make me right at any point of time. Anything that I say in this video is not to degrade or demean anyone or to talk about or to put out things that someone else has gone through. Everything said is something that has played a role into my decisions in regards to staying in a relationship that I stayed in. A lot of the a lot of this goes back down to my ex-partner's family and his upbringing and things that he's experienced. And for someone who has studied the human mind for a long time, it made it hard for me to leave the situation that I was in. After the first physical altercation occurred, a conversation was had, and that conversation played a role into me staying in the relationship longer than it should have been, than I should have. And I'm going to let you guys know what was said to me, not for the point of putting the blame on someone else or making myself look good or anything of that nature. But these are some of the things that were stated to me. And as a person who truly believes in being the backbone for those that you care about, me staying in this relationship was truly that for me. So, in late 2017, early 2018, me and my ex-partner got into a physical altercation, and whatever led to it, it's not important. What's important to me, and I think for society to hear, is the conversation that was had afterwards and how that can play a role into our decisions and our actions long term. I definitely want to say that I definitely can still have much love for my ex-partner and their family, and I only wish them the best. But me doing this video is a way for me to get past the situation and to move on. After our first altercation, it was brought to my attention that my ex-partner witnessed someone close in their family being abused on a regular basis in many different forms. And one of those forms was definitely physical. For me, with the understanding of psychology and how it plays on a child's development into adulthood, played a role into me staying in that situation. And it definitely wasn't easy. For months afterwards, on a regular basis, I had thoughts of leaving. And some would definitely say I didn't leave because I loved him more than me. And I can definitely say at some point throughout our relationship, I can definitely say that that was true. The first altercation, from the conversation that was had afterwards, had to deal with the physical abuse and verbal abuse and mental abuse that occurred in the household that my partner grew up in with his family and their significant others. And for me, that was something that was definitely a red flag. I've known my ex-partner since 2012, and we were together since 2014. So after the beginning of all of this, or the first physical incident, it definitely made it hard for me to not understand the things that they've gone through and how that can play a role on the human psyche. So I stayed in hopes that things would get better. And it didn't. Between January 2019 and April 1st, 2019, a lot happened publicly, and it was definitely hard to do. And it all goes back down to when all the when all the verbal and physical abuse began. And a lot of it has to do with their mother and their brother. And at some point, somehow, someone that I've known for the majority of my life got involved in the situation. Oh boy. Oh. So, I stayed because someone that I loved was still being affected by things that happened with their family. And I saw their hurt. And I wanted to help. During this time period, I suggested therapy. I suggested going to church. I suggested gaining a better relationship with one another in hopes that that would bring some type of resolve or repair to our relationship. And in the long run, it didn't. And that led to my best friend of almost 15 years and my ex-partner putting me in situations that wasn't beneficial for me. That's it for now.